Hello, 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 and good evening, and welcome to the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness Show, where we have open conversations with the youth about mental health. I am your host, KATINDA, author of The Big Comeback and founder of the Confidence and Self Esteem Academy, and one of GYMHA's special board advisors. Now, in today's show, we are so blessed to be in the presence of three amazing panelists. And our first panelist is Dr. Alka Mahajan. She is an academician, psychotherapist, Toastmaster, global speaker, moderator, and radio host. Hello and welcome to the show, Dr. Alka.
Thank you. Big hello to you and everyone who will be watching us live on Facebook. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I see the other two people haven't kind of connected with us yet. So just give them a few
Okay,
moments to connect.
absolutely.
Just hope that they're connecting with us because we've got Dr. Divya Kaushik, who's a
Hmm.
principal, Mata Rukmani Rai Arya Sen Secondary School. He's
Yeah.
also a psychotherapist. He's a teacher, trainer, trustee in Ideal World Education. So we'll wait until it comes on board. And we also have a third panelist who is Abasanda Kibe Edwin Gitao. He's a certified addictions psychologist, founding director at High Center, Jimher Abasanda, and we'll also wait for him to log in. I think we might be having some technical issues with them logging back in. But while we're waiting for them, Dr. Alkar, in our conversation today, our guests will give us some really exciting insight on public stigma of mental health and addiction. But before we dive deeper into the show, so how are you feeling today?
I was a little bit nervous, honestly speaking. Why? Because I was going to be using this app for the first time. I've been
Oh,
so
okay.
used to doing my shows and sessions on Instagram and Zoom and Google Meet and StreamYard that when this came, I was a little apprehensive, but thankfully it didn't take me too long to understand the nuances. And see, I was the first one to join you.
Yes, yes. But how are you feeling apart from that? How are you feeling today?
Oh,
How
I'm
do you
feeling
feel?
wonderful. I feel wonderful. I always feel that if you are happy from within, I mean, just happiness at the small things of life, and appreciation for the small things in your life. I mean, little things. You go out into the garden, you see the green grass, you see flowers, you see butterflies, you see the birds chirping. I think that just brings a smile to your face. And you see nice people, and you connect with good people like you. And that brings even more of a smile, and I feel even more special, and I feel on top of the world. The wood Karen Carpenter's "Top of the World" song. So I feel like top of the world, or Brian Adams' Cloud 69.
Cloud nine.
Yeah, Cloud 9, Euphoria. Mode Euphoria. This happens when I'm on mode Euphoria. Yeah,
Well, yes, why not? Why not? It's a pleasure to meet you here. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. And yes, it's good to always speak to someone who's full of life, who's got a lot of energy, a lot of smiles, because that is contagious, and that is something that our viewers will appreciate because it's always nice to get somebody who's sharing the light because this is all about the light. You're giving the light to the
absolutely.
world, and we appreciate that so much. So I'll just give it another minute and see if everybody else is coming back on, um, because I need to dive into this straight away just to see how we're going to avoid. Okay. Okay. So I believe I'll just continue this show with just you and me for now until the other two guests do join us. So, we're
Absolutely.
talking today. Yeah, so Dr. Alka, today we're talking about public stigma of mental health and addiction.
Yeah.
You know, we know that is a big problem and it's something that affects a lot of people and a lot of young
Hmm.
people. So,
Absolutely.
what is stigma when it comes to what is public stigma when it comes to mental health and addiction? What's your take on that?
So, to my mind, stigma is actually a problem. It is a problem with health conditions. And it's when someone views you in a very negative way. You're not perceived as a normal human being, but you're perceived as someone totally different, maybe not even belonging to planet Earth. Because I've seen so many people, they're treated as if, oh my God, we don't know you, please stay away from us, especially the ones who are going through this kind of stigma. And it can range from the little things to the big things. So it could be cancer, it could be HIV, it could be depression, it could be, when someone takes drugs, then they start resorting to drugs for that matter. So basically withdrawal symptoms, all these problems, when we see it's easily a short pointer to the fact that the person is undergoing some kind of a problem in his life. And we may not say it openly, but there is a stigma. And stigma, mental health is, you know it affects the mental health. You cannot function well socially, you cannot function well psychologically, you cannot function well intellectually, because you are so you have those withdrawal symptoms, and you feel that you are just not of this world, that you are abyss fit. And I think this is a worst thing to have, because after all, we're all human beings. And the fact that people who suffer from some kind of a stigma, they are generally not treated even well in the society, because of there's so many things. Of course we will be talking about all that, but the point is, somehow, at times I actually think to myself that we have those songs about healing the world in a beautiful place, way, by Michael Jackson. We talk about we are the world, we are brothers and sisters. Then if we are brothers and sisters, and if we are at our ends, in our little ways, if we talk of healing the world, then why we will forget the little things like compassion, tolerance, patience, listening, empathy? Why do we forget that? We're all human beings. We're just cut in different shapes and sizes. We may have different color. We may belong to different parts of the world, but the color of the blood is the same. We all have red blood. So no matter which part of the world we come from, we all are brothers and sisters. And I hope people realize that quickly. And that is why these kind of mental health issues will not really happen. Why are they happening these days? It's because people are not just treated well. There's no compassion left. The tolerance level is absolutely zero. I mean, we just talk about
True.
it. It's only theory. But when it comes to
Yes,
action,
yes. I see we've just yes, yes. So I see that Edwin is joined us. Hello, Edwin.
yeah,
Can you hear me? Edwin? We
he
can't
seems
seem
to
to
have
hear
frozen.
Edwin. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he seems to have frozen.
Yes.
His camera
Edwin,
seems to have.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Edwin, when you get, I can't. Yeah, okay, he's dropped off again. I think he's having a connection issue. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you were talking about, we talk about heal the world,
stigma. Yeah.
songs about brothers and sisters and everything. But why do we seem to have stigma though? Is it lack of people knowing, lack of awareness? People don't understand that by having a stigma and judging other people when they're going through hardship, it actually creates a problem in this. It's a challenge for the person who's got either mental health or a
Hmm.
situation, whether it's drug addiction or whatever.
Yeah.
Why do we think people do that?
So the people have this, it's basically mindset. It's all about the mind. The way our mind is fed with information, the way our mind perceives, whatever information is happening around us. So, we get the wrong notions. For example, let me give you a simple example of a patient suffering from HIV, AIDS. So there's this common notion that if we are within the vicinity of this person, or we're in proximity with this person, we might catch it. And then, we are hesitant to be near the person, to lend them a shoulder to cry on, just to hug the person. You don't know what the power of a hug is. The power of touch, it is so powerful, it is so reassuring, and it's so comforting. But when people don't get that, they again withdraw. So, at times it intensifies the problem. It intensifies whatever. See, if a person has that problem, at times it may be for whatever, they may have had, bad experiences in their life, some traumas in their life, some bad childhood memories. Sometimes it stems from that. Sometimes it stems from the kind of people they have interacted with. Sometimes, of course, it can be a major health problem. And what happens is that person, again, I feel that it is basically lack of awareness, majorly lack of education. We need to be educated well. We need to really know that if a person is suffering from A or B or C, whatever it is, if depression, then these are the cases. If it is let's say a person is a schizophrenia, he's having a problem with that, then yes. Bipolar, then yes. Then, withdrawal symptoms, then yes. But then the thing is, we need to be patient, we need to be compassionate, we need to be educated properly, because half the time we don't even know it. And we, at times, what happens is we see someone on the roads also, maybe they have some kind of a problem. People know about it, they might even call out an ambulance for help. But they still don't want to be near that person, anywhere near that person. They just want to stay away, and then at the first moment they just want to flee from that place. So, these are certain things that it makes me wonder, where has humanity gone to? We write poetry on humanity, we work for humanitarianism, but then is that only lip service? So that is the thing, we need to actually find these solutions. The only solution is biggest solution, I feel, to actually put the world on track, put entire humanity on track, because this world, we are all one big family. And this is a problem not only in India, Nigeria, USA, UK, but it's all over. And we really seriously.
Yes, I know definitely we need to, people need to be self-aware of what the damage is for when
Yeah.
they actually stigmatize other people who've got mental health or addiction. It actually helps to be helpful and empathetic, but I
Mm.
think it's just the knowledge of people don't understand how to deal with it because they haven't been taught of how to not judge people. And it comes from your
Yes.
environment, like you said. So if you come from an environment where people judge everybody all the time, then they don't know that when somebody is suffering from an addiction or has got mental health, they actually need help. They don't need you to look at them and think, "Oh, look at him. What's going on with him?"
Mm.
That's a problem. So,
Yeah.
really, what are the stigmas of addiction and mental health?
So, I would feel that when we talk about the stigma of mental health and addictions, um, I would actually think that, people having those, when we see somebody having withdrawal symptoms, someone behaving very differently in a particular situation, not wanting to connect with people, wanting to stay away from any kind of, where they might be called out. I think these kind of stigmas, stigma relating to maybe their body, they have some kind of a problem with that, or maybe they have a mental, some kind of a mental health problem. Mental health problems could be many, as simple as facing depression, and or maybe they are, because of their problem, they are resorting to drugs. So drug abuse, too much of let's say puffing away cigarettes, too much of smoking, chain smoking, these problems happen. Sometimes you just want to eat too much, you eat too much, and that leads to obesity and other kind of problems. Sometimes it could be stress. anxiety, stress, all the time. Something happens, you are unable to take any kind of a decision, and you just want to run away from the problem. You don't want to face any problem, you want to run away from it. And this happens because they lack that will. The will from that comes from within is hardly there. And I think this is one thing that stigma affects in a big way: your own inner will, your own determination, your own powers of resilience, your own, coping mechanisms. I feel all this goes for a toss when there is some kind of a stigma, when we know that we are being viewed in a different way because of the way we are. So it could be anything that we're suffering from. So a person who is overweight is not even treated well, so he or she is just shooed away from the scene. Oh, you won't be able to do this. Oh, will you be able to fit through the door? Oh, you won't be able to sit over here properly. So you're being bullied also. And another thing, the people are bullied. They're bullied literally. It could be verbal bullying, it could be just pushing, physical bullying, it could be online bullying. So this bullying is also happening in a big way just because the person is suffering from some kind of a problem. So
Okay.
and addictions could become, you
Yes,
get a food
Edwin, can you
addiction.
hear us?
Yeah, I hope.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that. I'm just wondering if Edwin can hear me. Edwin, can you hear me at all? Edwin, can you hear me? Okay, it doesn't look like he's able to hear me. Let's just see.
Hello.
Edwin.
Hello, Katinda.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
You hear me?
I can hear. We can hear you.
Hello. Hello, Katinda.
Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you although faintly. You're a little bit faint.
Okay, must be your side because I think um, we've been talking. Dr. Alka, am I
Hello.
clear?
Hello
Dr. Alka, can
Edwin.
you hear me
Let me
clearly?
check on my end. Let me check on my
I
end
can
and
hear
then
you
I'll get back.
perfectly. Katinda, I can hear you perfectly, and I can even hear Edwin.
Hello, Dr. Alka. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Edwin. I can hear you perfectly. A big hello to you.
Okay, my only challenge is Katinda.
The network.
I can
Wow,
hear
thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you.
I can hear you clearly.
I think I want to take this opportunity to apologize. I had that technical hitch. I had that the technical challenge. Actually, this is my first time that I'm using this Melon app, but I hope now I'm audible. I hope you can hear me clearly, and my apologies.
That's fine. If you can hear
So
me, that's just put your
to
fingers up if you
my
can hear me.
viewers, our viewers rather, my name is Edwin Gitaukibe, and I'm really honored to be in the presence of Dr. Alka, Katinda Ndola, and Dr. Divya.
Okay, so we were talking about the stigma for public stigma on mental health and addiction. And the question is, what influence or what factors influence the
Hi,
stigma of
Katinda.
public mental health and addiction?
Oh my.
Okay, I think he's having.
I don't know why this is happening. It's very sad.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes.
Okay, so did you want to answer this question? What factors influence the stigma of public mental health and addiction? Okay, we just lost him.
Oh, God. I think there's a major problem. There's some problem happening.
Yeah. So, Dr. Alka, what would you think? What factors influence the stigma of public mental health and addiction?
Factors, basically, perhaps stereotypes, And we are so used to perceiving people in a certain way that when we perceive someone differently, we start, having different kind of perceptions about that person, and generally those perceptions are negative. It's never a positive one. I don't know why, but we as human beings really need to accept people if they are different. So having some kind of a problem does not mean that they can never come out of it. And if they do have one, I mean, if we are so used to stereotypes and we're so used to seeing people in a certain way and we cannot accept them being different, I think we need to learn this. And there's so much talk about diversity and inclusiveness, even in education nowadays. Yes. So if we are now but we're just talking about it, we've made rules about it, but we still need to put them into action. Then there's also, the fact that we play blame games, for whatever reasons, we're playing blame games. And that can also influence the public image of people who are suffering from some kind of stigma or mental health. Yeah, because we're all the time blaming the person, and the person goes so low on his self-esteem and so low, and that the person feels that he's a good for nothing. He just cannot get anything right. We're putting the person under the scanner 24 into 7. So imagine if somebody keeps on telling you, oh, you're this, oh, you can never get a thing right, oh my God, what have you done, oh, you're doing it, I know it's never going to be done. So I mean, why are we so judgmental? Why cannot we see that we have no right to be judgmental? And who sets the rules of a society, of a community, of a country, of a world? It's we only as human beings. So we need to remember certain things, that everyone is different, but at the same time, everyone is unique, everyone is unstoppable, everyone is unbeatable, and everyone is ubiquitous. This is something that we need to keep in mind. We need to have knowledge about mental and substance use disorders. That will also help us, in understanding people who are suffering from stigma. We need to be then there are certain media portrayals. Sometimes I've noticed that movies and soap operas and our stories at times, they portray people who are suffering from some kind of a stigma very negatively. So that also adds to our perceptions, and then it gives a kind of a reiteration that, yeah, whatever I was thinking about this problem is actually that way. But I don't think so. We jump to a conclusion without actually having experienced it, without actually having interacted with a person who's going through a problem. They're just human beings like us. Maybe only they feel a little weak from within. We just need to understand that. So contact, we need to, if we come into contact with such people, we will perhaps understand them more. So if there is a talk about doing social work and humanitarianism, we talk about humanitarianism, then we need to be meeting such people at our own level and trying to understand how we, in our capacity, can help that person. So I may be a psychotherapist and academician. I may be, someone who takes training sessions, but maybe in my own small way, I can help these people. I can just talk to the person. I can just give them a shoulder to cry on. I need to be in contact with such people. Believe me, there are children in school, for example, or colleges, autistic, dyslexic. They need our help all the time. And why should they be just dismissed by saying that, oh my God, he cannot read, or this child can never learn anything? So, if we are talking of inclusion in education even now, and we have physically, impaired children, or mentally impaired, or visually impaired, we still need to help them, because they have every right on planet Earth to learn, to an education. They have every right. So if they come to school, we need to help them. And if we help them as adults, then our youngsters will follow suit. They will also emulate us.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very, this topic excites me so much because there's so much to learn. I mean, I'm listening to you, Dr. Alka, and it's just amazing how much wisdom you have and how much information you're sharing with us, and how much insight, for people who are listening to this. So if you just joined us on the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness Show. We are talking about public stigma of mental health and addiction. So click, share, comment, and invite your friends to watch and ask questions because we've got Dr. Alka Mahajan here today to give us some insight, to answer your questions, and to dive deeper and dig deeper and talk more about what this public stigma of mental health and addiction is all about. So then, what are the public effects of being stigmatized by addiction and mental health?
So, the public, the biggest thing, Katinda, as I see it, for a person who's suffering from any kind of a mental health issue, the public, I mean, the person hardly has a public life, the person just doesn't want to be in the eye of anyone. Sometimes, even in front of their own loved ones, their family members, their community members, their neighbors, they just want to stay away. They just want to be lonely. And they are in their own shell, they're so withdrawn and they're in their own shell. And it's have they've just completely given up on life, as if nothing can ever work their way. And I don't know, but if we see people like this immediately, because this is the biggest thing. And, if we really need to help them, and if they really need to, even these, if they go to their rehabilitation centers and all, they need to be treated with a lot of compassion over there as well. Because we just don't seem to be able to come out of this perception of ours that, they are normal human beings. So the most important thing that I would say is that, hey, they're just human beings like you and me. Why can't we just be saying that, okay, yeah, all right, the person is not a bipolar or a schizophrenic a person. A person just has a bipolar disorder. A person could just have a schizophrenia problem. Why do we say, oh, he's a schizophrenic? Oh, he is bipolar. I mean, that is like labeling the person.
Yes.
We have this. I don't think this is amazing at all, and I'm quite it actually depresses me when I see how people treat other human beings. We just are so self-centered and so into our own worlds, and we want to so push ourselves in our work area, that we want to be ahead of everyone. And in being ahead of everyone, we sometimes do not, we become machines, and something about our emotions and feelings, it goes for a toss. So I feel that, life is about feelings. And they say that you need to work with the head as well as the heart. Yes, true. You need to judiciously have a proper blending of the head and the heart, because you need to, at times, when something is not happening, you just need to listen to that inner voice from within. And that can only happen if a person is strong from within. If a person is not strong, the person will just, like they say, that it's your mind, it has an angel and it has a devil. So when you are feeling weak, and when you're feeling vulnerable, and when you're feeling that you are openly under the scanner because of being different from others, people who are geniuses are also viewed differently. We all know stories of great personalities who did not perform very well in school, colleges, yet they became the biggest people of the world. If we talk about the Microsofts, Bill Gates, if we talk about, Albert Einstein, there's so many of them. I mean, if I start naming, we'll just talk about those personalities. We just need a mentor. We just need a counselor, a mentor, an educator, or just someone who can just understand that person and treat the person, and help the person. It's basically help. It's basically HELP, help, support the person. Everyone has something unique, and I don't know. We really need to figure this out, because just talking about it and just saying that, okay, he's bipolar, instead of saying he has bipolar disorder, is not really right. Sometimes I think we need to work on our positive communication. You don't know, when sometimes we use a particular phrase or a word, the kind of hurt, the kind of dent that it gives to a person's ego, to a person's entire life. The person will just keep on thinking that he's maybe no good at all, and it takes so much time to actually heal out of that situation. Many years, a person, no childhood, no teenage, no proper adult life. When it comes to old age, they realize that, okay, I could have done this, but by that time it's already too late. You've missed out on the golden years of your life. Not that in old age you cannot enjoy life. If you are a person who's enjoying life and treating each and every moment of life in the spirit that, yeah, I'm still learning. We need to have an open mind. And if someone tells us something, we need to learn it, and we need to accept it, that, yeah, maybe, let's try it out. What's the harm in being experimental? I mean, what's the harm in trying out something which I may not like at first? Now you say something to me, Katinda, I may not like it, but I'll think to myself, why shouldn't I try it out? You never know, it might help me. And if it will help me, then I'll, obviously I should have attitudes of gratitude. I should say thank you to you, because you opened my eyes. I did not think too much about this, but here we go. So people will be different, and people who are different, even if they're geniuses, they're creative people or restless people who want to work, I think that they also are different, and people cannot understand them because they're different. So it's not only about having some kind of a problem. It could also be something about the personality, because people are so used to a conformed lifestyle, something which is in conformity, as per norms, as per rules, as per regulations, that they forget to be a little flexible and bend at times. They follow everything as it is, forgetting that at times we need to, be a little flexible in spirit. This is something that we need to remember, I
I
feel.
think, yeah, Dr. Alka, I think what the problem is with a lot of people are so negative these days.
Yeah.
And if they're so negative, a negative person, a negative mindset cannot give you any positive feedback. So
Yeah. Yeah.
again, we're talking about the stigma. You're saying, um, you know, we need to stop this and help people rather than value them instead of making them feel inferior. Because if somebody's judging you and making you feel your condition is you, because your condition is not you, it's just
Mm.
you're a person with a condition. And I
Yeah.
feel because of the environment, like you said earlier, it's where the people you hang around. I know Jim Rohn said you're like the average of the five people you spend the most times with. So if your
Hmm.
environment is negative, and definitely you have some sort of a mental health or addiction, the same environment will not empower you. That environment will actually bring you down, because they are so negative to the point that when something is not right, like when you have a condition which is mental health or addiction, rather than get help, they will make you feel more worse off, because, as you said, they'll criticize you and you'll grow up or live your life thinking you're not good enough, which
Yeah,
is what we
absolutely.
know.
Hmm.
With the majority of people in the world, we know we suffer from the concept of we're not good enough for a lot of things. And if you
Yeah.
don't feel good enough, and then somebody else mentions something about you and labels you and says all these things, yes, you will go through life, and then one day maybe snap out of it, and you'll be a person of regretting all those beautiful years that you missed out because you believed somebody who was negative, who labeled you, and it became you when it's not supposed to become you. So I think, again, going back to that, it's getting people to have a lot of awareness about being sensitive about what they say to other people, because something people say will trigger somebody. And people who are going through something, I think, are triggered by a lot of things. And if people are negative, that's a trigger. It will not help them at all. I think that will just make the situation really, really worse. So
Yeah.
we have a last question here. So how can we then eradicate or minimize the stigma of addiction and mental health? I know we say educate, self-awareness. What
Yeah.
else can we do?
So there are lots of things that we can do. We just need to do them, in the right spirit.
Okay. You froze.
one is like and yeah.
Dr. Alkar, I think you're frozen.
Oh, I'm frozen.
Yes, I didn't hear a thing you said.
Oh my God. 1 second. Can
I
you
can
hear
hear you
me
now.
now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so maybe for a minute or two, I'll just switch off my video and I'll just
Okay.
talk. So,
Okay.
you asked me what are the ways, steps to cope, or how can we, what are the ways where
Minimize.
we can actually
We can
help with dealing with
eradicate.
stigma, right?
So it's
Yeah.
eradicating or
So,
minimizing.
okay. So number one is let's try to um, help the person, help the person who is stigmatized. He should not be actually isolating himself. If you have a mental illness, you may be reluctant to tell anyone about it. It could be your family, your friends, anyone, but you need to reach out to people you trust. Just reach out to anyone who will just listen to you. It could be anyone. It's important that you speak. It's important that you have a voice. It's important that you do not keep anything in yourself. You need to open up about your problem. Don't isolate yourself. Seek treatment. Get treatment. You may be reluctant to admit that you need it, but don't let the fear of being labeled with any kind of mental illness prevent you from seeking help, because treatment can help relief by identifying what is the problem and reducing symptoms that interfere with your perhaps your work, perhaps your personal life. Then do not ever let self-doubt and shame affect you. We need to understand it all begins with one person. First of all, you don't isolate yourself. You talk to someone. The person gives you a reassurance and power that yes, you are just like any one of us, just that you have a little bit of a problem, which all of us have. You see, we all have some kind of a problem and fear that we are dealing with day in and day out. So we need to um, not have any self doubts and shame about ourselves. We need to understand our own self worth. It's about self love. It's about self confidence. It's about self belief. It's about self love. We need to understand this. Stigma just does not come from others. And at times, a person who is stigmatized may mistakenly believe that his condition is a sign of personal weakness. Or, so then it is very imperative that some kind of a counseling, some kind of an educating yourself and your condition and connecting with others, or with people who perhaps are also going through your kind of a situation and they have come out of it perhaps, and they can help you that I also once thought that I was a good for nothing, but see, this is how I did some kind of a, then you have to take those steps yourself. The will to change has to come from within yourself. After someone who is your mentor actually reassures you and makes you feel confident enough that yes, you can handle your situation and you are unique and unstoppable, and you can, just like everyone, you can also get back on track and show the world what stuff you're made of. And also at times I feel that do not equate yourself with the illness. Like I shared earlier, instead of saying that, instead of calling a person a schizophrenic, just say that, the person has schizophrenia. Or just saying, rather than saying I'm bipolar, say I have bipolar disorder. So it's not that you are that. It's just a problem that you're suffering from. Don't equate yourself with the illness. That's very important. At times, I feel it's very good to join a support group. There are groups out there. The world is a beautiful place. Not everyone is a devil. We have a lot of angels out there all over the globe, and you can definitely join those support groups. So, some local, national groups or global families also would be there, and they offer support for people who are suffering from mental illness or stigma. Then getting help at your school, college, your organization, wherever you're working, I think that also happens. So, you can talk to your friends, your colleagues, you can talk to your teachers, your professors, administrators, and about the best approach and the resources. Nowadays, let me talk about India, for example, but I think it's all over the world that people, nowadays in schools, we have special educators, we have special counselors. So even though the classroom is is an inclusive classroom, we have all sorts of children in the classroom, and the ones who need a little extra help. So, we also train children in empathy and compassion so that, the children can also help them. And then the special educators are always there to help the children through the process of instruction. I think so. This kind of a support, when we're supporting, then, and I've noticed that many kind of people who have some kind of a, let's say, a physical problem are ones who make it really big in life. Don't we listen to TED talkers who I'm forgetting the names of some of them. Let me try switching on my video if it works now. Can you still hear my voice? Yeah. So,
Yes, I can
there are
hear you,
lots
I
of
can see you.
perfect. So there's so many TED talkers, out there who did not let any kind of imperfection in them or any kind of physical disability stop them from rocking and ruling the world. So why can't anyone can do that? Like I say, each and everyone has something unique within them with which they can share with the world. So never think that you are alone, never think that you cannot come out of whatever problem you have. Just speak out. If you The most important thing is give voice to your thoughts. Be an assertive voice. Do not just be an echo. Be an assertive voice. That is important. I mean, we can make the world a beautiful place, and other people's judgments should not really bother us. Everybody will be there, we'll meet all sorts of people. So there are different peoples, but if we know how to deal with any kind of situation like this, then any person can come out. So the most important thing is, first, the person needs to talk to someone. There has to be a mentor, an educator, a counselor, a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, depending, a doctor who can help the person, just get him on track. And once the person gets on track, then there are so many support groups, there are so many schools. But I personally feel that why should we separate, put them in different schools? They should be growing up in the same kind of environment that everyone is growing in, so that they feel that everyone can see their situation and realize that the person is a normal human being. Okay, they just have some kind of a little disability. So that's okay. We have all sorts of people in this world. We're all brothers and sisters. Let's not just write poetry and talk about it all the time, or give those wonderful long speeches and sermons. They're very good to the ear with those nice words and ostentatious language. But, the real thing is, let's be real. Let's not be artificial. Let's not put on plastic smiles. Let's genuinely help a person. And the only way we can do it is by actually being with that person. So let's do
Yes,
that. Let's do
yes,
that.
that's so amazing. You've given us so many ways we can actually help eradicate and minimize stigma. I mean, I like the support groups, joining a support group. And if
Yeah.
there are no support groups, start one. At the end of the day, just because they're not there doesn't mean you cannot do this. You can also create, because everybody is a
Yeah,
creator. Everybody has the dreams. Everybody is able to be the one to make the change, like Gandhi said. Be the change
absolutely.
you want to see in the world. So yes,
Yes.
that is amazing. So now, Dr. Alka, just before we finalize today, before we conclude, I know there's so many ways to protect and manage your mental health and well-being. What is the one thing you do for yourself on a daily basis to check in with your mental health and to soothe your soul.
Okay. So, what I feel is that, like I talked about those words, self love, self confidence, self belief, self care, I think I'm going to give you an acronym, you know, an acronym PLAN. Over here, P stands for planning your day, just a little bit, just 5 minutes in a day. If you could just plan out your day, I'm going to do this, I'm going to have fun, I'm going to meet someone that I care for, I'm going to indulge in my hobby. You see, life is not only about work, work, work. We need to also give
Mm-hmm.
little breaks to ourselves, and um, in different ways. So we need to, but it's always a good idea to enjoy a day fully and have a productive day and be organized. Let's just plan what we need to do. And where do we do it? L over here stands for we need to, in our home or in our area, find or locate a place that makes us very comfortable, which is like your me corner, I would say. Like, I have created a me corner for myself at home. And when I'm there, everyone knows that, okay, I am now thinking, I am on mode thinking, I am doing something for my own inner growth. We need to do our own inner growth, and we can do it ourselves. So I I know that I have a place. I go over there. I think. I feel I can think the best when I'm sitting over there in my rocking chair, and I'm thinking, and I'm able to, actually plan the day ahead or think. A is always indulge in some kind of an activity that just puts a smile on your face and that makes you full of life, any kind of activity. So it could be singing, it could be dancing, it could be writing poetry, it could be gardening, cooking, baking, it could be graffiti, designing, or it could be maybe sculpture. It completely depends on what. It could be just listening to music, just listening to music, your favorite music for 15-20 minutes. My God, it is such a stress buster. So whatever it is, then you feel so energized that you can just, move on about in your day. And you can do this at any time in the day, even if it is yoga or aerobics or, let's say, salsa dancing, which I love doing. So you can just do anything. 15-20 minutes in a day, or you could do it 10-10 minutes. You can have your breaks and do it. It depends on you. Then N is name a person that you would like to connect with in a day. Every day, connect with at least one person that you haven't connected with in a long time. It could be anyone. Why I'm saying all this? Because this keeps you know about everything, a little bit about everything in life. So if you're connecting with a person, and when I say this, it could be of any age group. It could be a youngster, it could be an old person, it could be an uncle or aunt you haven't met in a long, long time. And you just talk to the person shares something with you, and then you go to nostalgia, and then you probably get an idea that you should start and do something for maybe a particular group of people. Like I say, until and unless you communicate, we just talk about 21st century skills: communication, creativity, connections, collaboration, critical thinking. I think this is all so important. And when we are connecting well with someone, we are communicating, we are keeping the channels of communication open. It is so much good. Then what mental health problem? We won't have any mental health problem. Mental health problem arises just because we forget to enjoy our own life. So life
Yes.
is that you have a life for yourself as well. When you are happy yourself, only then can you put a smile on someone else's face. Don't you think so? I mean, that's what I think. If I'm not happy myself, and I have a glum face and I have a long drawn face, I mean, looking at me, someone would just want to run away. So no, I want to be happy and cheerful. So the moment someone sees me, say, wow, I want to connect with this person. So, this is what we need to do. A simple plan. PLAN. Of course, those little things like little but big things, I would say. Journaling. Write a journal, gratitude journal. I think we talk about it all the time, but how many of us are actually doing it? I have one, whenever I feel like saying something and I cannot say to anyone, I say it to my journal. And then, of course, self
Yes.
affirmations. Just talk to yourself at times and, oh, so there's a challenge coming. I can do it. Come on, come on. Let's see what kind of stuff you're made of. And then I'll show you what stuff, stern stuff I'm made of. So, just give yourself those talks to boost yourself. And then, you're not going to have any stress or anxiety. If we just start working on these little things, which are actually big things, but we ignore them, then,
Yes, I
we
think.
can definitely and surely, I say,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, I just love that song. He says that we can heal the world and make it a better place. We surely can. These little things will help us to make the
Yes.
world a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world.
Yes, it starts with healing yourself. That is very true. And
Absolutely.
I believe in self-love. I believe in, looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, speaking to yourself and affirming, telling yourself you believe in yourself, you love yourself, you can do it. Because I know,
Yes,
like I was teaching a class today and I was saying to them, you have to say, I am confident and I'm willing to commit and give myself permission to be a better human being, to become
absolutely.
that woman or man that I dream of being. So I think, yes, this is so amazing that you talk about all this. So now you can find more about the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness by visiting our website, www.globalyouthmentalhealthawareness.org, or you can email Jude, Jude, at GYMHA .org. And before we go, Dr. Alka, where can people find you? Are you on social media? Are you on LinkedIn? Where are
Yes,
you?
yes, yes. I am on social media. So facebook.com/Alka's Tarot. I'm also a tarot reader, by the way. I do
Oh,
shows on.
you could be teaching us something. You should be doing a show about tarot reading. That'd be
Let's
very
do it. Let's
interesting.
do it.
Yes.
Invite me. Whenever you call me, I'll be there for you. I mean, you're such a wonderful person. It was fantastic, interacting with you and sharing thoughts with you. So,
Okay, so
yes,
before we forget, so is the name appearing on the screen the name that appears on your social media?
yes, yes. Facebook.com/Alka's Tarot. This is my Facebook page. Okay.
Okay, so what I will
So,
ask you to do is comment on the Facebook page, on the Facebook video after we finish with your details so that people
yes,
can have them
yes.
there.
Yes, yes. I'll
Um,
share that with you. And also Facebook.com/Alka's Education. On Instagram also you'll find me #AlkaStarro, and LinkedIn also I have a profile, though I'm not very active, but I'll try to get active because I notice that people all over are beginning to use LinkedIn in a big way. So yes, I have started that. Yes, and
yes, I see here we have a comment from Cromanon Wellness and Supplements. I think is that what I think is saying there's something people can do. I'm not sure. So
it
he's
just
going
says
through.
empowering Dr. Mahajan and Dr. Opinde. So basically,
Yes,
thank you so much for the nice comments. Thank you so much, Mahima, for those nice words. Truly inspiring. Yes, I just hope to, if we've been able to touch your heart even in a little way, and if we've been able to make a positive impact, and you all are geared into thinking that, yes, let me help even one person once a week or once a month, that's also a small baby step towards empowering and making this process of understanding the people who are going through mental health problems and stigmas, you know, making them feel that they're part of all of us, that we are all together in this world. So, thank you.
yes, yes, we are. So that's all for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Alka Mahajan, for blessing us and for giving us an
Good
insight
wishes. Lots of
yes,
love to you, Katinda. You were an amazing host. And I do talk shows myself. And, it's very rare that I appear on a show, as a guest because I'm so used to being the host. But yeah, this is a lovely experience. And I'm so glad that it was with you. So, Katinda,
yes.
this is for you.
So,
Lots of
so
love.
thank you so much. So from the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness and the team, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And I also want to
Great
thank
efforts.
you.
Keep the good work going. Keep the good work going. God bless you. More love, more light, and keep shining always. And I'm there for you whenever you just call me. Just call me and I'll be there.
Yes, so I just want to thank the viewers for being such a fabulous audience,
Yes.
for your support and for watching the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness Show. We appreciate you very much. May you all experience the frequencies of love and light. Stay blessed. Namaste. Just wait.